Oh yeah, we should drop Blythe. Man, that'll really hard. Why does it say 75? What does this even mean? All right, well, I think it can hear us. Yeah, all right, good. I don't know what that means. Oh, that's the buffer, isn't it? How do we go live?
So there's 3 viewers. Might be live. No, it says.
It says off air.
But there's not a... It's kind of like muted.
Waiting. Okay. How the heck? Okay. Are we live? Go look and see if we're actually live.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay. It says we're live.
someone just said we're live.
Oh. So weird.
Can you hear us too? It was David that reached out.
It says off air. Let's watch ourselves.
Adam says that reached out.
Hey, look at that. It says off air.
All right.
No one can see that. Dang.
What's that?
Or maybe they can't. They can probably see it.
No, a couple people have slacked me and said, yes, we can hear you, and yes, you're live.
All right. So how do we screen share? Here we go. Oh, so now they'll be able to see it. Screen 2. All right. Now you can see, look, it says off air. So how would we know? All right. So this event over here, we had to switch over to this one because we can't figure out how to work YouTube. So share this with all your friends. I don't know if it tweeted anything out. Yes, it does look like it tweeted something out. Awesome. Thanks, Adam. All right. For this one. So we have there's a video on GitLab's YouTube site that was from Wednesday, I think.
Yeah, it was earlier this week.
Sometime earlier this week, where they walked us through, and we actually started contributing some of the feature back. So Aaron and I are actually going to use this one computer. He has his own keyboard and trackpad, and I have a keyboard and trackpad, and we're going to code this together.
So yeah, we're going to use VS Code and do it all kind of remote, but like, you know, just in 2 rooms and like 10 feet away. But my MacBook, just, I don't know, I'm getting all kinds of kernel panics and stuff. So we're going to like IRL this.
Yes.
In real life. Yeah, so we should have a trackpad and a keyboard, and we're ready to build on what we did earlier this week. So
I did this at Pivotal once upon a time, and it was pretty fun. So we'll see how this works out.
Yeah.
A slightly different setup here. So this is the issue that we're working on, and there's a link in the video description. It's basically going to allow us to provide a license to everybody who uses our GitLab instance. And this is kind of a building block for the rest of the types of templates you might want to use. So currently we're just putting in the license feature, but we'll be putting in this templates selection component in the admin area. And that will allow you to select your template file repository. And currently that'll have the license in it, but eventually it could have pipelines. It could have, issue templates or any type of file template that you want to put in for everyone to be able to get. And you can scroll through this and kind of see some of the discussion that we've been having and some of the design aspects. So let's go over here.
Now, did you commit your work you had so far on a branch or anything?
I haven't committed anything.
So you still have it. We're starting where we started last time.
Yeah,
it's local.
I've done nothing since our last stream, and I've not even changed the tabs. Like everything, this has just stayed here,
yeah,
just like this. So actually, I want to see what. So I only have one remote. So we'll after this session, I'll fork it, and which I think I already have a fork, and I'll push up the changes to that fork. But I have not pushed anything back yet.
So just to refresh, will you go to where it shows us the Git differences?
Oh yeah.
VS Code real quick.
Oh, there's one in VS Code. This thing.
I think that's the one. So that just has the Git ignore. So it's not showing us like the things that we changed.
Let me see. Oh, and this is also. Oh, that's why. That's unfortunate.
What's that?
We're in the GDK-EE, and I don't know if we. Oh, you know what? We can probably do this. Yep, I did. There's that handy command that I have installed that I'm not going to type in right now. So this has the diff. So let's see, we have this blob helper, which is this.
So where we left off, we had it working, right?
Yeah, and we need to change this because this is the hard-coded version. So we have the actual selection for licenses working now, but we'll need to implement this so that we can replace this with a whatever was selected in that admin section. Which is not implemented. We have this, which is using this project to loop through all of the license templates and adding them into this license selector. Let's see, what did we do here? This is the templates.rb. Oh yeah, right. We'll have to change this one too.
So it sounds like what our work for today is to find where we're going to set that in the admin, get it so that we can select it, and then once we've been able to select it, we'll replace those two.
Yep. Create new directory in this. Which one was this?
In the issues.
Is this
templates.
License template. Yeah, this is it. And I ended up creating it.
Yeah.
So is that actually?
And it's also an issues templates because at first you would put that comment in and then we copy and paste the whole.
Did I change it? Oh, yeah.
Over.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we got that cleaned up, and we will GDK run. So this GDK is really cool. It's got a bunch of instructions in the README to get you all set up so that you can develop GitLab locally. And that's not the right one. This is the right one.
Is it because you went down a folder? Or do we need to back up one folder?
Did it fail? I think it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's all good. All right, so it takes a little bit of time, but eventually we should get a GitLab here. Lots of Rails stuff happening.
Basically, we're running this whole enterprise app from scratch on your laptop.
Yeah.
As we're live streaming.
As one should.
Yeah.
All right, so we need to find what did it do? Okay, so it recognized me. No. What is it doing? Loading everything up. There it is. I have no idea what that password is anymore. And there's our live stream project, which we were just adding the license. And this is what we set for our current project that you saw earlier that was hard coded. It's that Dan / live stream. And this is our license.
So I think what we should do is go to whatever admin screen.
Oh yeah.
We're going to set this in, and then
I was just going to
inspect it.
Okay,
right?
I'll show them this right here. So since we're adding a license here and we have the template license, this is the area that we've added so far. This custom and this test. And when you click test, it gives us this license. Don't worry about that. That doesn't matter. And then there should be an admin. How do you get to the admin section? Am I not an admin in this?
That's a good question. If you're not, how are we going to elevate privileges?
Well, let's see. Is there another way to log in here? Let's. Does it matter? Let's see. That's interesting. I think I've looked this up before. This looks different though.
It might be in that
So they've
file,
changed it. Okay, well, let's see if this works. But maybe this other one does.
Oh, the live stream's on?
Oh, we switched to a different event.
There should be a comment on there about another link. Like we couldn't get the scheduled one to work.
Okay, so that one works. So I guess this one didn't go through. This pull request to change it to password or merge request. That's on the community edition. Okay, well anyway, that's how you find an admin username and password.
That trick works for all kinds of devices.
Yep. All right, so this is our admin page, and then we want to go. They had it documented in here. Request GitLab Geo. Is that their redesign? They're redesigning a lot of this. General settings. Is there a general settings area?
It's settings on the bottom, or
So they're going to redesign this, maybe? Is there any more information that we can get?
I agree. General settings make more sense to me. I'm not sure of logistics here in terms of which issue will get incorporated first. The screenshot below is simply placed and at the end of current settings. So that templates area, I think I probably want to go right around there. But
Yeah, let's go
which page
take a
is he
look.
on?
I don't know. Let's see if Elasticsearch is on here anywhere. It's a lot of stuff. What else was on there?
Is there a search in the admin area? Can we just search for templates?
Search for templates. Oh, they won't have a templates though. There is no templates
That part,
yet.
the screenshot they showed, that part's not there.
Yeah, we don't have templates yet.
Oh, okay. So we
These-
can search for Elasticsearch, like you were saying. Like,
Yeah. Let's see.
just
You can.
no in the. Oh yeah. I can do stuff too.
You want to take over? Just take over. Where you look? Oh, okay, there.
This is more of a dashboard type of thing. That's interesting. Can we not glean from this which one of these is selected?
No, I can't see anything that looks like it's selected.
Here's what I envision the admin settings would look like when we expand. Okay, so that's what we'll build.
Because they're currently not, they're all expanded. Guess we can put it anywhere. Let's just get it in and maybe we'll just put it in the general settings here and we'll change it after that. We now have to figure out where this is. I don't know if we can just search for this.
No, I think that maybe what we want to do is what he instructed us to do last time was do the
inspect?
Yeah, do the inspect.
Yeah, you're on the wrong keyboard.
Control, inspect, sidebar, context title. That'll probably land us in CSS or something else around here that's more functional, like something you click on. Maybe those.
Well, that's weird because it's not giving us the right place. So where it's selected isn't the right piece on that GUI.
Option title is not a very good one.
Application setting default visibility. That's not the right one though.
Oh, I bet it is because that's about default project visibility.
Yeah. So this. Which one is it? This whole thing? Legend, visibility, and access controls, form group. We could select any of these things probably.
Yeah, I bet this one here, if we could, if we take this right up here, application settings, project visibility. Command C. So to Visual Studio Code.
I think it auto pastes it. Was it not?
I hit Command C again, then I.
Oh.
Admin settings.
Sweet. That sounds right.
So this is in
this
the
is the spec though.
Spec. But that kind of tells us that what we're looking for is probably a file called admin settings.rb.
And then that's
Group admin settings. That's just the HAML, so that would be the way that it looks.
And that's for group, not instance.
Let's say that's searching in on admin.
Yeah. They had too many buttons.
That feature step shared looks like or the EE page menu. Either one of those look like the most interesting to me. GeoNode and license. Nope, not that one. That's that sidebar though for the admin. So we're getting closer. Feature step shared. There are projects in the system. Step. System has users. No, not this one.
What is that testing against? If you want to join the conversation, feel free to hop over to Slack. It's slack.devopskc.com and tell us where we're missing this.
So one thing about Rails is this part where it says visit admin application settings path.
Mm-hmm.
This is the route that would get you to that page. So one way we could go about this is go to our routes.rb. I think you're doing what? Command-Shift-P?
Command-P.
And sometimes you can glean something from this. This is kind of how Rails fits together. This is basically saying like all the URLs that are out there,
mm-hmm.
that it's connecting it into where it should route it to. And what we were just looking at, if I control tab back, to that spec. Oh, we didn't double click open it. So it was just sort of open, but I can do Command F in here and we can look for admin.
Only one.
And then if we go back to here, what was the route on the page we were on? It's just admin application settings.
Right, so application settings, maybe we should just search for that instead of admin.
Yeah, this will end up being, the other thing about Rails is the way it's set up is we should have an app directory,
mm-hmm.
which is going to have controllers, and then we should have admin, and then we're going to have application settings.
I'm gonna look at that.
So the Rails is an MVC, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we will have models, controllers, and views. So if we want to change the way the view looks, then we're going to go to here, and those will be the handles.
Okay.
And we've got a show, which is just boilerplate template, and then the form. So when I go like hacking into someone else's project like this, what I end up doing a lot of times is see if I can just put something in and get it to show up on the screen. So we could
How much do we have here? That's that file, isn't it?
Yeah, that's that really long file. I think that probably...
So, do we have something in here?
That probably represents this long page here.
Yeah, so let's go back and let's do visibility. That's not that helpful. Project visibility.
Yep, I think that's that section right there.
So it is here. Okay.
Okay.
Default project visibility. So where do we start? Field set, legend. Oh yeah, visibility and access controls, which is the same thing that we had right here.
So what we're working with is a standard form. There's a group for each of the sections.
We need these two things.
Mm-hmm. Hit refresh here.
Hey,
nice.
Look at that.
Okay.
We're doing things that are not useful yet.
So let's go back to the issue and see how they said it should look on the screen.
And so I believe there's a redesign coming. Let's see. Actually, let's go back up to the top and go through. This was the proposal. They added it here. I have no idea where this screen is.
Well, I think they were talking about this is kind of general, right? So maybe because that screen is so long, they're breaking it out into what those section headings are going to be.
That's what it sounds like.
So for the sake of this, we might just match what's existing, because then we can copy and paste what other ones look like.
Yeah.
And just leave it on this page. And then as part of that redesign, if it's similar to other ones, then they can redesign in that holistic sort of way.
So this, and this looks like what we're in right now, except for that they're all expanded. They haven't redesigned that.
To not have the expand.
Yeah, but so these are a lot of the headings that are in the current thing we're in.
So since neither of us are UI people and they're probably going to do the expand the way they want to do it, we'll probably just match what's there.
Yeah.
And they can systematically more add that. But what does it look like? What is she was saying that it should be a drop down?
Oh, this is the drop down.
Do we have an example of that on that page yet?
Probably.
Because that's what we want to do, is go grab one that's similar to that and put it in this section.
Do we have one that would represent any kind of file?
That RSA key one had something.
The RSA key one. Yeah, it had. But was it So we have. Yeah, these are all like hard coded values. There might be something in how the projects are populated. I'm trying to see if there's anything that would have a like where we can
pulling
select
from a repository.
Pulling from a repository.
Yeah, the closer example we can get, the less we have to figure out.
There could be something in the projects specifically, because they may have more options there. Let's see, I don't see anything.
Okay. So was there that left menu?
Yeah, it got short. Oh, right, because we expanded this.
Right, we don't need that right now. We can close that. We can always get it back with a right click. So you're saying in projects, is there a section in here for?
Well, I was thinking in an actual individual
something
project.
That's pulling from project like we want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
That's interesting. The service templates. Do we think that
service templates?
Do we think those are something that is like this, where you can?
I think these are just maybe not the greatest of names, because I think you're just supposed to enter information and then it connects.
So that doesn't come from
like more like service integrations. License. We don't really there. Use reports.
What's application? Sounds interesting.
System. Oh. That's if you have an application that you want to OAuth into this.
System hooks. So this is just a chunk of meta about your hook, so it's not actual.
Messages.
Interesting. So we might be breaking a little bit of new ground.
Look at that. Is that how much I have?
Wow.
I have. I guess I have 8 cores.
I need a new Mac, one that doesn't melt down when I need it.
Yeah, I don't know that I have that much disk space though. I don't know what it's running on because I'm pretty sure it's running locally. All right, sorry, that's just cool, and I'll move past that now. So is this?
So I think we don't have one, but we're gonna need to find.
We do. Well, we have some of these that will get your namespaces. This might have. Oh, is it live? Oh, there it goes. Yeah. So that one is slightly different.
Actually, this is
a drop
good.
down.
This namespaces one. I think that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not exactly a project, but.
Well, we do have. No, that's also not a drop down. Why is there no projects drop down? I'm sure it can't be too hard to get, right?
What's the projects drop down up at the GitLab icon?
That gives you this where you can search, and it does the same thing as this other search box, where it will do some fuzzy matching that's not apparently fuzzy enough. Oh, is it? Oh, it's probably because I'm assigned it as an admin now.
Yeah.
So I'd have to do.
But do we want to make any determination? Like, what if we had the search? Like, what if we just had that so people could search for their licenses? Like, we don't know what they're going to name them, right? Like, maybe they're going to name them licenses, or maybe they're going to name them.
Well, because we had a structure that we decided on in this that was. So what we're doing here is just trying to pick out the project where where all the templates will be stored for the GitLab instance, and in there we said that we would name the directory license with all caps, and then inside of that we would have files labeled something like this with a .txt ending, and so they won't be searching for their licenses. They'll just be, this is the admin just adding that project as the templates project. That makes sense.
Well, let's go down to the selection thing then.
Oh yeah, right.
It seemed like there was multiple things to select from. And I just feel like
right here.
Okay, so there's a search. Select
so there's
repository.
I guess there's the filter here, which is what the other piece is doing. There's a drop down with a filter.
Let's go back. We didn't see one like that, right?
Well, we had. Jeez.
Oh, the codes are showing.
Well, yep, there it goes. So here we had that filter, which was what was showing before. So this is basically a large version and a more complicated version than the screen we have to make.
Mm-hmm.
And we need to fit it into a dropdown, which I guess was similar to this, is what we're looking for, except for we won't do any frequently visited type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So combination of those.
I like the search paradigm better than some type of listing or whatever, because like really you're going to come in here, you're going to search for license, or do we just, well, okay, obviously
I don't understand. So it's not going to be licensed. So what we're looking for is so eventually there will be a GitLab CI directory and a README directory and whatever other types of directories we want for templates for the instance level. And so the admin will just come in here and do this once, really.
Right.
And so they'll just select a templates project,
so
which could be called anything.
I guess I'm going, oh, okay. I guess I'm going back and forth. Like it says on the merge request that we need a search, but it also says like we've decided that this directory is going to be called license.
Yes. So we know that the directory inside the project will be license.
Oh, the directory inside the project.
Yes.
Well, okay. So make sure I understand. We're creating an admin type of directory. Like, is it a GitLab project?
It is a GitLab project,
and we have extra licenses. So there's the GitLab already has like hard coded in the MIT and Apache and GNU and all those, right? We want to create a repository where we add like an NAIC license.
Yep. And NIPR and maybe a few others.
Can that be named anything?
Yes. So that template project can be named anything. Hopefully it's just called GitLab templates or something simple, but we wanted to make it so that anyone could select it so that it wasn't hard coded. So if you already had a repo named what we arbitrarily decide, it wouldn't screw it all up.
And I really think we just want whatever code backs this, like just this search. Type search, placeholder search. search input. Take this and just see how often this shows up. I don't know if this is used like throughout the project or search.view. Callback function within. See, this is some form of JavaScript, right? Or am I?
Yeah, ES5, ES6, yeah. And it's Vue, which is a JavaScript framework, one which I've never used.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with this. I mean, this looks like some form of HTML templating thing. So I don't know how this gets wired back into Rails.
So let's see. There was another.
I think there's a better hook.
There was this projects drop-down sidebar.
Yeah.
Or we could also.
I think that is representing these.
Oh
here.
yeah, you're right.
But that may direct us to where we need to go for this code.
So I don't know if it's much different than this though.
Okay.
I wonder if this one would be easier to find.
So this is the project filter form, or
So search form, project filter form field.
and again, with the way that Rails works, this is a path here. So curious. It's been a little bit of time. I want to search on this and see. I can't remember the exact way if this is going to get called from actual code, because this is all view layer stuff. This is the Haml stuff. I think if we get rid of path, we'll get, like he was saying, the def. Now we're back into Ruby code. Is this what? Okay, so this is a helper that's going to help us explore and find stuff. Request path with options. What I'm unsure about is like how we direct our code into calling this. We are working on view level code, view layer code right now.
Yeah. So can we? Wait, what is this one? This is where we're editing.
So once we find this right snippet, that's where we're going to put it.
Yeah, what happened to that? Command P. Oh, that's not there. Projects. So this is the one that we had before, right? So is there any way to put that into here?
Let's copy it in there and just see what happens.
That's kind of what I was thinking. I didn't know if that would be horrible or not.
No, I don't think it's bad at all.
Okay. We broke it. Same line. Wait, illegal nesting. What?
Does our indentation matter here? And are we
There's some
off by one?
.form group, so I wonder if I can do that. I'm guessing it separates it out a little bit. So that seems like that's the same as below. Hey, look at that. Now it has nowhere to go.
Right.
But we have a search box there.
That's a pretty big step forward. No.
Was it? All right. So can we reference this from this other one?
Let's go back and look at that search form then. Is this a helper? How do we tell what path this search form came from? Reveal and Finder will get us.
Reveal and sidebar. Maybe that'll work. All right.
Okay, so this is part of projects, and projects is part of
shared.
Shared, and shared is part of.
No idea. Still further.
Views. So it's views, shared, projects.
Yep.
Okay. So it's a matter of like, how do you in Rails share those snippets?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what this is. This is a snippet. It doesn't have the opening and closing stuff.
Do we have anything doing this already?
Probably.
Oh, on that, where's that RSA one? Command F, RSA. No RSA, really? SSH. There we go.
Okay, so it starts with an underscore, right? I believe those are called partials.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
And I believe it's a render. So in this file, do we have, or the form file, do we have a render?
Yeah, I've seen that. Let me see. Render.
And then I think you use the name of it without the HTML handle.
Oh, here's a partial. Look at that. I have no idea what this locals is, but I'm going to copy that too. I'm just going to make another form group and see if we can't duplicate what we have. How you would do that? Yeah, we have a bunch of form groups. And it's without the underscore?
Yep.
Is that it?
Let's give that a roll.
Oh, so it thinks we're in a different area. Do we have to provide more of the path?
Well, it's in shared.
Right. It's searched in all of these. Oh, so it didn't search in.
Yeah.
So these are the only ones. App views, EE app views. How do you search in more?
You know what we could do? Somewhere this is being done, right? If we search for render partial search form or render search form,
Oh,
I bet we find the format this is being used.
let's see.
The just stuff so far. So let's get rid of partial and see what we get.
And
And if it's not that, we may have to put the. Okay. Let's put shared in there. Shared / search form. Okay. So is that where it would be? App views, is it app views shared?
App views.
Or is it app views shared
project,
application or project or something?
Shared.
Okay.
So let's try that. All right. As a project or projects? Shared projects. I have it backwards. There it is.
All right.
Nice. All right. So we can get rid of all of this junk. Now we need to go back and figure out how someone gets. All right, we also have to figure out how we record this. But anyway, let's figure out how to get it actually selectable, which was in projects. So I don't know if we can inspect this and find, like, I want the whole thing though. Like this, projects list. There's a projects list holder. But anyway, all right, let's do that.
Let's go back to the search, and now we're learning about Rails. Let's go to the
search.
Oh wait,
yeah, go for it.
Just a second. Let's go to here, and we really liked how those partials worked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think there's one that's projects? And like one that's just
is there a list?
Happens to be called list. Nope, not at that level.
Yeah, because projects might be within the project.
Oh, that's true. Yep, that's what these names seem to.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
So at this level, merge request type of stuff. This is specific to a project.
Oh, there's a search. Is that where we got the other one? No, we got shared.
Search, show. Shared is where we got.
Oh, there's list.
Okay.
Can we just?
Yeah, I think we could.
Projects limit equals 20. We probably just can't copy all of that in, can we? But we could reference it though, right?
Yeah.
So what is a list? And I don't know if we should put it right here.
Under the partial image?
Yeah. No idea how you link these things together. Get the actual GUI figured out.
Well, it's model view controller, which is never in the right order for the way I think about things, because you go through the view as a user, and then that's going to send things to your controller, and then the models we use to look up things in the database were saved into the database. For the next level after we get done with this view, is going to be connecting things into the controller.
And it broke. Undefined local variable or method projects. What did I screw up?
So it seems to have loaded it. Let's check in. We're in.
I wonder if I just accidentally typed something. I was going to go back and look and see what line.
Views. Projects. I feel like there was one other.
There's shared projects.
I don't think we were under shared, were we?
Yeah, there's shared.
Okay, shared projects list. Okay.
Yeah, and it's giving me this different error than what we had before. Where is that happening? Oh, right here. Oh, okay. So it's wanting so it is loading it. So it's getting it here, and then it's saying, hey, we don't have this projects thing. Where would that come from? Do we just have to pass that in? How do you pass something like that?
So, let's go back to the search we did just a bit ago. Because now I think it might actually have better meaning. We want to search for where this is done. Because this is somewhat dynamic. Like you're going to do a search and then show.
Oh, right. We haven't done this. Yeah. Yep.
I'm not.
You're on the 2 keyboards is hard.
I'm using this other computer to look up things on Stack Overflow. We're the only one doing it this way?
Really? Seems unlikely.
Okay, so maybe, again, you don't always have to use partials, so maybe somebody's rendering.
Oh, they could be in the directory already.
That will tell us something too, that like if they're only doing it from the projects. When we search for it, without the, here we go.
Oh, hey, look, that worked.
Okay, so let's go look at one of these. This is not us.
Right. So there's the drop down. That's the names. Is that the namespace?
See, this is what we want more.
Yeah.
More like, and this is not a partial. So here we would probably want to lift like a section of this code. So let's just take this, see what happens. Can I comment this out? Let's comment in I don't know if you can comment in Haml. Oh, apparently you can't. You have to have a dash in front of the dash. Where?
Undefined local variable or method projects. It doesn't show us where. It's still going to list. Did we not?
You don't have save on exit.
No, I don't. Yep.
Which that'd be interesting if we were doing the live coding on.
Oh, so this gave us all of this.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. But it doesn't put anything to hold it in. All the results. That's interesting.
Right, it won't at the view level. So what's going to happen is this is our view. This is the forms. The form would have to be submitted. Oh, wait, which page are we on? I'll go back to index.
Yeah, that's over there.
Okay. Inner class. So you're going to have to submit, which is going to be like the enter. And then that's going to connect up with
What's that render projects?
that's a shorthand way of doing like what we're doing here. It's just render and then the project partial. So what we need to do next is track down where this form is connected in to reveal and sidebar. We're under application settings and the views. So
admin application settings.
We want to go over to controllers, admin, application settings, and then we have the verbs, which are either show, which just does basically what Rails does. We've either got update data, set runners, application setting.
There's set application setting as well.
This is probably a help since these ones we've crossed over into private. Private's weird in Ruby. These ones, it kind of denotes that these are the ones that are going to be like helper methods for things that are up here. And these are the ones that actually come from taking an action on the UI. So I'm assuming it's going to be an update.
There's application settings and application setting params.
So this is the model. And then this is called to update the service. So let's go look at the model and see what we can glean from that. Model. Doesn't say admin. Will be application settings. This is a very large file. This is where all the logic lies that keeps your database in sync and everything. And double click on that last one, so I can't command tab back, so I've got to navigate back to application settings. Let me, I guess first, if I double click here,
yep.
Okay, that. Okay, so now I can go back and forth. So we're calling update service, Command C. Did that land me in my Command F, Command B? Interesting. So it's not on here, or
is it update under service or something?
Maybe. Neither of those things. Okay, so this just comes from active record base. Update. See, that's what I thought. These are lowercase.
Mm-hmm.
So this is where.
Do we even have just an update in here?
But this is not. What is update service?
Is there a separate one in here that's called update service or something?
In the models?
Yeah.
Close. Controllers. So the other thing.
Project services. I guess we could do a global search.
I think that's probably our. I have a feeling, and this is what I run to with Rails a lot, is I do all these searches and kind of go all over the place, and I'm like, oh, that's just boilerplate. Like there's nothing there to update, right?
Right.
So as long as we get things wired in and stay convention over configuration, there's really not anything to do.
Okay.
So there's tons of update services called all over. Is it defined anywhere? No.
Or it should be an update under service if it was going to be defined somewhere.
Oh, you're right. So I guess that doesn't lessen our search much at all. I kind of want to search for not the two colons in front. You know, like where's updates? Space update service.
I was gonna just see if this shows up anything. There's dev update service.
But there's tons of them. Maybe there's 25.
There's def update service. All of those are epics, time tracking, issues, issuable actions. So none of these are what we're looking for. Is this possible that it's just boilerplate somehow?
I think that's what I'm kind of gathering is that this is, and if it's not, then it's. Oh wait, let's look at this one just out of curiosity. We don't have to double click it. The one that has the all caps.
Notes.
So that all caps one is saying when you update this, update both issues and merge requests.
There's application setting.
Interesting. It looks like they cut into Rails if in fact base service is like one of the like base classes.
Mm-hmm.
Did whatever it normally does, and then adds these things to its initialize. I believe in Ruby community they call that like monkey patching or something.
Yeah, monkey patching. That actually cost me many hours.
Oh yeah,
searching, trying to figure out where in the heck someone has overridden something.
That may or may not be what was going on there.
There are a whole bunch of services here. This is the class-based service.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I take that back. Maybe this is implemented by GitLab.
But we don't see any update service.
Maybe every service has to implement it. Which is why we saw so many of them.
Sorry, I was seeing if anybody was on general to tell us what to do. No, help. Hey, McNair's probably looking pretty busy. Ryan. All right.
So, okay, let's back up to where where we were and what we're trying to accomplish. We've got the UI, and we're just trying to make sure that this.
But we don't have
when you save something.
We don't have the list yet of projects being created, and we have a bunch of things that we don't need. Like,
do they show up somewhere else?
No. So when we go back over here,
do you know how to get out of the problem word?
No, but that class name didn't even match.
What?
The application settings,
Uh-huh.
and it's spelled setting in that file that you were looking at, the model file.
Oh, we might be looking at the wrong file.
Or be either.
So see all of these things here?
Oh,
We don't need any of those. We only really need this, and then we need maybe something out of this. Actually, this is the drop down. If they want to drop down, then maybe we have this, but we need it to filter by this. Does that make sense? Because this is the project filter, or the project name filter. This is the namespace filter. Although I guess we could have all of them. I don't know that it will be that useful.
So another thing that
one-time
I'm curious about is if I change some other setting in here, how do I save it? You have to
the save button down here.
Okay.
I don't believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jamie, but I don't believe that there are any other save buttons throughout it. I think there's only on the settings, the general settings. I think it's only at the end, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Other.
It's not totally consistent.
Yeah.
Which things even have a save button?
Yeah.
Or it's
some
just,
sections of the project settings have save buttons, and others don't.
Okay. So I think as far as wiring things through from the view to the controller, I think it's going to go through if we name it correctly. So what we probably need to do is migrate the database now and just add this into the model. Have you ever done that in Rails?
No, and there's some, I don't know how we do that in this GitLab system.
I don't.
I've done like the migrate DB command.
So we're going to need a terminal in this, in the scope of this project.
Okay.
And we're using this one right now to run it. So we'll need a second one.
We could close that one down if we want to do the work.
We're going to have to play around with Rake and see if it's just vanilla Rails.
Yeah.
So yeah, navigate to the project.
That's the wrong one.
Do rake dash capital T, rake space dash capital T.
So it's probably so GDK has some commands, and I don't remember.
Do we need to be down a directory or?
Yeah, we can. I was wanting to make sure that there wasn't a migrate DB that they've codified over it. So if we do GitLab.
That looks like it's working. So this is going,
taking forever.
If I remember right, maybe I gave you the wrong command. Maybe we just blew everything away. Just kidding. I think that what this should do is show us all the potential rake commands that we can run.
Okay.
There we go.
Jeez.
So a lot of these, like this is how you run your tests and stuff, like rake spec and rake test and things like that.
I don't see the migrate
it's
DB.
Rake DB colon would be the ones that we would do.
Okay. DB migrate.
And so if we want to create something on the model, which I think we do. So now we've got to talk about like how we're going to add this to the database. Where's the appropriate place to add this setting to the database? I'm assuming it's going to be on one of the admin application settings models. So let's go back to the project, and in a Rails project, in the, I believe, config folder, but we might have to fumble around a little bit here. So at the same level, like the top level where, here, let me drop for just a second.
Yep.
At the top level where app is,
Mm-hmm.
you should be able to go over to config here.
I see.
And this is where you have like a lot of stuff about the
Database.
database. Database YAML is the config for it. Actually, it's not this folder, it's DB. So
Okay.
the way Rails work is everything goes forward over time, and you write migrations. So if they're following normal Rails, they give it a timestamp of when you wrote it.
Mm-hmm.
And inside of these files, you have an up and a down. So you can rake up or rake down the database to migrate forward or backwards, and they're always cumulative. So to some degree, you need to keep all of them unless you drop a marker. So here we see like 5 years worth of migrations or whatever. So you should be able to like kind of start from scratch. So what we're going to look at is the schema.rb. Never change this file.
Mm-hmm.
This is created by those migrations.
Okay.
So application settings, and here I think this is the area that we're at.
Max pages size. Yeah.
We're probably going to put a string in here, and we just got to figure out what we want to name it. So
Is it for the repository that's going to hold the templates?
Yep.
yeah,
Then probably a project ID even. Because
that's not a bad idea.
all the repositories have like an ID. Some other table.
Oh yeah, so then we have a relation.
Yeah.
It's a good idea. So projects
I have no idea.
have, so they're somewhere down here. Whoa, flying, sorry about that. I just want to check one thing before we go forward with this. Was there one just called project?
I
Project
think
auto.
it's probably projects.
Yeah, that's true.
There it is.
Projects. Okay, so there's not an ID that's explicit.
Thought there was.
No,
Not an explicit one, I guess.
it's I believe it's just implicit, which is good. That's the normal way to do it, right? Like it's
Okay.
not like they've taken
Right. You can see references to
They have
Yep.
names.
in
Yeah.
other tables, right?
Good.
Okay. I see.
So
So it's just created.
so it's just the conventional way
Yeah.
to do this in Rails. I believe that there is a setting all the way at the top. Memory serves me right to do IDs or something. No, I guess it doesn't matter. It has an ID. Good. Unless. Nope. Okay. Rails migration at relation. Rails generate migration, and then if we name it properly, then it'll just like write the migration for us. So let's just go Rails migrations. The Rails guides are pretty good for stuff like this. What can I use as a scratch pad? Generate migration, add project to project.
I think it was application settings.
Application settings. We don't want it to just be project in the end. We want this to be saved in the database as.
It'll be project ID. Will that show up right?
Well,
Projects.
we can always delete it. That's a good question. Add part number. So this part's singular, and this part is
Right.
plural.
The
So
other
you're
one
adding.
you were looking at was like add rabbits to something.
Yeah, I went with the Stack Overflow thing at first, and I thought better of it because like that person was asking a question as opposed to. Okay. Rake worked for you instead of bin rake. So we're gonna try this. And we can delete it if it's wrong. I wonder if it's struggling because it's running.
It's possible.
Be the last one in this.
Project application settings. Didn't seem to do anything.
It's neat. I don't know if I've seen the downtime thing before. So it didn't define the up and down for us because what I told it to do was just so boilerplate Rails that I think in the newer versions of Rails, it's just like do the thing that it says to do. So we don't really want that exactly. It created it, and now to run that, we would have to migrate the database up, which will take a while on a project that has a lot of. No, it won't. No, it won't. No, never mind. Okay, this is where I always struggle naming things. So it's not just a project ID; it's a specific project. It's a license project, right?
Well, it's just a project ID that we select. So
No, but what do we want it to be? What do we want the column to be? Or
It's a template project. It's the instance template project.
So it's not specific to license. It could be a template for something.
It'll be a repo with lots of different templates, and the first one is just license.
So template project ID might
Yeah.
make sense.
Is that what we want to go with?
Reasonable to me.
Template project.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't need this comment. It looks like that's pretty standard that they take that comment out.
Mm-hmm.
We are going to define the up. And the down. we don't have a downtime reason. And does that disable DDL transaction? Seems pretty common to use that.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see. Let's see. To disable transactions, uncomment the following line or remove these. I don't know what this is, but assuming we're going to need it. There's a misleading name. How to create Postgres indexes concurrently in active record.
Prevent it from being wrapped in a transaction.
This isn't going to matter because we're going to add like one
Mm-hmm.
thing to a database, but it looks like conventionally, I just try to match what the project already has. So, and then
I think they had it up at the top, but
above the up and down.
yeah. Take a look at a couple more, but yep.
Okay. And get rid of this. So that'll put us back over here to the Rails guy. And we want to is it a column? Is this project settings like just a one-line database? It's just kind of a flat.
I don't understand. I guess it would be just one row.
Yeah, one row.
It's pretty much just one row because
I mean, it's just like
I can't imagine why it would be more, unless it's just doing updates not within the same row. But
so conceptually, what we're adding is a column.
yeah.
So first we have the table, and the column name, and then the type. Column is going to be, we decided, project ID.
Yep.
It's going to be the string. There, and we need to say that no, it's not going to be a string, it's going to be integer. It's actually going to be an ID. Relational. Migration will create a user ID column. So that's what I was talking about before.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want a join table here because it's really just a one-to-one relation. I'm going to join table. add foreign key. There's actually one, right?
Okay, seems reasonable. Instead of add column. So that's for the authors to get the author ID in there. So then we don't have to specify anything else. Then we need to change those second two symbols in the command to just be projects.
See,
that would add all of them, right?
Right. That's what. This is where I'm conceptually breaking down, because we just want one, and we want it to carry semantics forward.
Do we need to link it? It doesn't have a real relationship other than this conceptual relationship. Like, it doesn't have necessarily a data relationship.
See, this is where I think that if we go off the rails, yes.
You've been waiting the whole time to do that.
if we don't, we have to figure out what the convention is. That's like the whole thing in Rails. Like, if you figure out what the convention is, then the boilerplate code between our view and our model is just going to work, and we're not going to have to do anything.
Okay.
If we do it some way that's not whatever the conventional way is, then we're going to have to put code inside the controller to carry it forward. And that's what I'm.
But if we name whatever the variable is that we're setting in the view and controller to be that string that we've just put in there.
So name. Is that what we want to do?
Move foreign key by name.
So is there an add foreign key by name?
There's a column as well that you can specify. But if we add the foreign key, what does that say? That's but it's not like a lookup. You're not looking up a specific key. It's just automatically going to add all of those IDs. Column names cannot be derived from the table names. Wait, hold on. So it's coming through. It's going to generate all of this for every single.
Okay, so then we don't want to add foreign key. It's not going to just copy the table over.
Well, is it just going to list all the foreign keys? I don't know what it will do. Or how will we set the right? Hey, we could just try it.
Rails 1-to-1 relationship. This is what you would put on a controller, right? This is the controller. No, this is what you put on the model. I don't know. We have a really loose relationship with this, right? Like, it's not like we're trying to constrain things.
Right.
We could go back to the string as long as we could look it up by that string.
Well, we can even have the ID be what we populate into it.
So if I do name.
Yeah, but I think template project ID will give you the name. It'll name it template project ID for that column. If we're going to add,
if we're just going to go with simple, let's just go with simple.
Let's just do simple and see what we get.
Run it and see. Okay, then
add column.
The other thing is when we actually go to do the merge request, they might be able to tell us that we're not following their convention.
That's what I was hoping.
Remove. Okay. Make DB.
Did you save it and everything? I haven't installed whatever it is that does that. Okay. Oh, did you hit tab at some point?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
A while ago.
Yeah.
Oh. I had M a lot.
Nice.
So it should be migrated all the way up to everything cumulatively before the one we created. So it should only need to run that one. Add that column.
And before the last demo walkthrough stuff, I went through and updated the database to get it up to speed.
Okay. So DB, let's close the migration folder.
There's only 6 years of data there.
Schema.rb. And we added to application
Yeah.
settings, right?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, we didn't add it. It's way at the top.
Upload project.
There we go. We didn't put defaults or anything. But that's probably fine. We don't need to.
Don't change that one. Okay. We said integer. It doesn't. Oh, okay. It does say
yeah,
integer.
there's integer.
We probably.
Both of those are probably fine, right? You can't really set a default, and it can be null.
Maybe we'll need to clean that up. Okay.
We'll find out.
So now we need to take basically and set. Let's go back to our view code and just set that, and I think it just flies right through. View template. Over.
No.
Application settings.
Yeah, application settings.
That's the model.
That's the model.
Form.
Yep. There it is.
So down here, how do we set options for select?
What's this application setting? Application setting, is it loading it into one of those? How do you actually set it? I wonder if it's in one of those that is being rendered. Oh, here's another way to render. Maybe try that next time we're searching for how to render.
Yeah. Model method, default project visibility.
Hey, that's it. And that's one of the pieces in the database, right? In the schema.rb.
Yep.
So
in your view code, this @ symbol basically says, give me from the controller. Let's go look at the controller real quick.
Next one down.
Give me this variable.
Mm-hmm.
And call this all projects. Okay, so give me this variable, which is an instance of the model, and then call this on the model. Maybe.
Is that just setting a variable, an application setting
Yeah, that's what I was
map
checking.
or something?
So
Just a map.
for models, you basically like your parameters that are on the model. You get like, instead of having to do getters and setters, like you get an implicit default project visibility where you can just set it equal. So, but it's not overridden. There's not a function that's called that. It just is that.
Okay.
So
we just
I think
do that.
do application settings. We have to figure out what selected means to us.
Yeah, and what is that
that
model
shown up here?
method?
Someone selects from that search. We just got to set it to application settings, not the thing we just set.
And that's for the radio button. So is this shared visibility radios, is that is this all just feeding into this partial here? So do all of these need to be implemented in that partial as well, or are these, I don't know how these are all being passed to that render.
I don't know.
Do we want to look at the screen and see what this actually looks like?
Yeah.
I've forgotten now what the heck the screen looks like. Okay, so these are the radio buttons. And so is that the selected level must be when it's so this shared visibility, so it must be when it's selected, it's passing in the application setting so that we can find out, so that the view knows which one is actually set. So where's this? They're not as shared here. Is this where we're at right now? Which one is this? Form HTML, yes. So it's way up at the top here somewhere.
They're shared.
Shared visibility. Visibility radios. So there's the model method. And there's the level. So you're getting model method level passed in, right? And then selected level equals level. Okay, so that's where the selected level ends up showing up. Is there anything that sets something?
When you do the save, whichever ones are checked are just pulled from the screen.
Okay.
So if we go back, look at our one that we pulled from somewhere else.
Yep.
Is there like a selected that's denoted somehow?
So what we have here though is just the search piece.
Okay.
There's nothing that shows any of the actual projects.
Okay.
We just get that listing. Oh yeah, I can just come back. So we only get these, and so if I type in, live stream, nothing shows up. Whoops, I hit enter, and I don't know what will actually happen. Maybe it'll just break.
Yeah.
Same thing with namespaces. Nothing's actually showing up. Hitting enter does nothing. You can create a new project. I don't know if we actually want that on there.
Probably not.
And it does go to new project.
So yeah, let's clean that up to get that out of our way. We don't want the new project. We don't want
new project.
Or the button.
What's the button for?
Yeah, let's see what happens after you get rid of new project.
All right. In the namespaces, we don't actually need. What is this?
Shared project drop down. I think we need that. That's maybe we don't. I don't know.
All right, let's see what happens with this. Okay, so last updated is still there, which it must be this. Okay, so we're similar to what we had before, but now we have that nice little search thingy there. Whatever that is. Toggle text. Why is this written so oddly?
Change that to not say namespace and see what we get. Templates or something.
Wait, so this is actually, this drop down we can actually get rid of. And I don't even know where that search is coming from.
Oh, it's the one. It's one we sought out before. It's the same as the above. We're rendering from the partial.
Oh, so we actually ended up in the same place that we were at before.
Yeah.
But how did we get the the icon? We didn't have the icon set, which is slightly different.
Yeah, way better.
So all that other stuff was to get a namespace drop down, which let's see. If we go back, so
we need to look at the partial for the search form and see if there's something in it that deals with selection. Then we need to make sure that. So we might not be able to use the partial because we might have to somehow put this in or send it in.
So
that application settings.
Yeah, the search form doesn't seem to do anything, and it doesn't house any projects. It's passing its information to something else, like something else is using that.
Let's look at the search form real quick, just the partial.
Oh, here's the namespace.find. I was trying to look at this so that we could see, like, if we get this information, can we turn it into projects? Actually, let's get that back, and let's try to change this to project ID. Field tag. I don't know. So we have a namespace that we're going to put as project. Don't know if there's a project.find.
Yeah.
Is that what we used before? Where's that one at?
What's that?
What we were doing before, where we were finding project.find by full path.
Do you know
which isn't what we want. We want the fuzzy find.
We won't find by ID. So this is another one in.
Well, we won't find by name, right? But we want a fuzzy search.
Find by name, sure.
I don't know. What we're getting here, I guess, is project ID, but that's not what. I don't know. Let's just see, because we're just replacing namespace. Okay. So maybe that'll work. Because I didn't have to type in an ID to find the project. And here's the namespace. That seem accurate? There. All right, let's see. There's still nothing there. So we need somewhere for, we need this bottom part where things actually load.
But that happens in this other search, right?
Which one?
The one where you type live in there? No.
No, it doesn't happen over there either. So this is what we've copied.
Right.
And so here, see, it does that thing where it's actually doing something.
Okay.
And then if I do this, I can find this user Dan. I guess that's the namespace that we're looking for. And we don't have these bottom sections in this. There's nothing below.
So type, or go click in there where it has live.
Yeah.
Like this isn't enough.
No, that doesn't do anything. Those are just things I've typed before.
Oh.
Yeah. So
wait, back up then. To know characters.
Oh.
I guess I never picked up on that when you said it. No. Okay,
yeah,
so
like
these are just
my wife's name pops up, so that's just Chrome.
okay.
And if we go back here, we see that we have this whole section that doesn't exist here. Although I think what we'd prefer is something like this.
Oh, do you know why we don't have those?
Why?
We don't have a variable form. I have to go look them up. Let's go back.
Well, so
is there any with an @ tag on them?
I don't know.
So in that other, the place where we grabbed this from, what was that?
Oh, right. Yeah. What was that? Man. We may not even.
We did a search on render, right? And it was an index.
Yeah, we actually did. No, we searched on this, I think, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yeah, it was index. That's what it was called. It was this one.
Okay. And that view comes from, it's
page title is projects, visibility level. Oh, okay, so this is coming from that main projects area, I think.
Okay. So let's go look at
links.
Let's go look at the controller for projects. Essentially, we're going to need to do very similar to what he had you do in the last live stream.
This is it. This is what we need. But that's not for the drop down.
No.
Yeah, drop down content. Are we missing something there? Sorry, I'm trying to differentiate between. So this is loading that entire page, the rest of the page, and this is drop down content.
Did we have that on ours?
And we have that, but I don't know if it's doing anything. Although we copied it directly, so it should have gotten something. Is there any other? Is it possible that we're supposed to pass that in?
So no, we don't pass it in. We just, okay, so what we need to do is go over and look at the controller for projects. Controllers, get rid of admin.
There was a projects folder.
Wow, there's a bunch. What? Did we figure this out before?
And we got a few more minutes.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
We don't want the one in the folder. We want just projects, right?
Well, this is the main search screen. This is the index, I guess, page. So is there an index controller?
So it's what controller links up to this, because inside the controller, what we're going to need to do is basically look up that model so that we have that available. That's what we're missing right now. Is that, like, the reason it's not populating is because we haven't actually gone and see project, search services, project.
This may be the global search. Yeah. Was there, where am I at? I'm in controllers. Then finders are there.
What's root controller?
That could be it.
No, it's just the main page.
Which is that's what we're dropping into. Or that's where one of those options is, to look up the projects by namespace.
We need something like this where we set a variable
Mm-hmm.
equal to not new, but like all. If we wherever you had the diff or whatever, remember he did like the look up the whole space.
So the well, we didn't do that. There's drop down names. Do we want to? So this is going into a.
Oh, I guess he didn't
partial
have you
as
do it
well.
all, but it's like this where you take the model and you
which we did that. We go back here in this. That's where I do this project.find.
just do all there.
Find all.
No, just do just all and no params. Let's see what we can see instead. No
params. Yep.
Just
Nothing's there.
okay. Nothing. All right.
Let me see if this shows up anywhere. Drop downs helper.
We should probably land the live stream for a day, but now I'm really interested.
All right. So we're going to do another one of these next week. We will tweet that out and probably schedule another one of these, and we'll have to switch again. And we'll figure out why this says off air when we're really not. And we're going to go ahead and end. But thanks for watching. Feel free to tune in again and offer any advice if you have any. Thanks. Bye.